to my wife for that wonderful introduction. You know, she said her name's still Yvonne, but when she got started in Riman, she had a different last name. And thanks to Riman, we changed that. So she went from a Chew to a Doan. So definitely one of the things that we're grateful for as far as Riman, because Riman completely changed our lives. And I know it sounds so cliche, right? Because you're here in an opportunity meeting, and the person in front of the room is talking about how it changed their life. Like, I don't have a crazy story. Like, before Riman had one arm, then I put, you know, the moisturizing cream. Now I have 2 arms. Nothing crazy like that. But I can honestly say that Riman changed my life. And the reason why I say that is because I come from a very different background. I come from a fitness background. So prior to Riman, I was teaching group fitness, selling out classes in studio, and teaching on demand for brands like Lululemon and Aloe. So a lot different than skincare, can we agree? Yeah. And I was making really good money. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are doing very, very well. But maybe you have the same challenge that I had. Even though I was making good money, I didn't really have time. I was teaching on average about 24 to 26 classes a week. And I was making good money. I was filming about 6 different on-demand classes a week, but I didn't have time to really spend with my wife, right, who was my girlfriend at the time. And I knew that if I was going to marry her, I wanted to make sure that we didn't end up just like roommates, right? Like see each other in the morning, then see each other at night, hopefully get to spend time during the weekend. And when Riman came into our lives, it wasn't really something I was looking for, to be honest, right? Like, no, I don't think any young man grows up saying, I can't wait to find a skincare company to sell. It definitely was not on my list, right? And I only came down out of respect for 2 really good friends, Mr. Tim Herr, who you're going to get a chance to hear from, and Chris Kim invited me. He didn't even tell me what it was. At least you all look like you know why you're here, right? You guys all know it's Korean skincare, right? Check this out. I just got done teaching a class. So I'm wearing joggers and a tank top, okay? At least it was athletic tank top, you know, not a beater, but I had no, Chris was like, just come, meet up with us. I was like, where are we meeting? He's like, JW Marriott. I'm like, that's weird. Why am I meeting you at a hotel, right? And I show up, and keep in mind, this is when the company just launched in North America. They were only in 2 countries, okay? So I pull up, and I'm dressed in joggers, sneakers, and a tank top. And as I pull up, I see hundreds of Koreans dressed from head to toe, suited and booted, right? Some of them like went over the top. Like, have you ever seen Crazy Rich Asians? Yeah. It was like one of those, like, I never had an occasion to dress nice, so this is it all out, right? And I look at Chris, I'm like, Chris, like, why didn't you tell me? I would have dressed up. He goes, no one's gonna notice. I'm like, I think they're gonna notice. And little did I know that one meeting would change the trajectory of my life forever. And so we're proud to say that we've been in Riman for 2.5 years. And thanks to Riman, we were able to take a step back from our fitness career, and we're able to triple the income that we're making in fitness here at Riman, and we work less time. And because of Riman, I was able to propose to her. I bought her engagement ring through Riman. We got married through Riman. So it's been an incredible journey. Our honeymoon was thanks to Riman, also because they're opening so many countries that are nice. So we just doubled it. By the way, here's a hack for you, okay? Whenever you travel, and they ask for the reason of traveling, okay? Just say it's a honeymoon or an anniversary, and a lot of times they will upgrade your room for free. Do you know how many honeymoons I've been on already? How many 1-year anniversaries I've had? It's been amazing. So I'm super excited to be here to share with you the information that changed my life. I know it's going to change yours. Dan's in here somewhere. He made a comment earlier, and he was like, you look like Neo from The Matrix, right? And I was like, okay. Okay, that's a good one, right? And so that's kind of what's going to happen today. Okay, it's kind of like the Matrix. You're going to get the red pill or the blue pill. What does that mean? The red pill is we're going to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. I'm going to introduce you to the company, the products, what makes us different, the story, what we've been able to do, where we're going to go. And then Mr. Tim Herr is going to show you the fun part, which is how to make money. Now, I'm just curious, how many of you, by a show of hands, like making money by show of hands? Okay, everybody except for 2 people, right? 2 people are like, I don't like money, okay? That's okay. Right now, and what's amazing is it helped us accomplish our goals and dreams, so it could do for you as well. How many of you have goals and dreams? Right? Isn't it funny that 2 people that don't like money also don't have goals and dreams? Down like And so here's the good news. By the end of it, you get to choose the red pill or the blue pill. The red pill, we'll go even further. We'll show you the opportunity that's available, and the sky's the limit. If you take the blue pill, guess what? Tomorrow you're going to wake up, your life's going to be exactly the same, and nothing has changed. That's the good news. Is that cool? All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the information, okay? So today's very, very special because you get an opportunity meeting, and then afterwards you get to be a part of something called Riman University, where we're going to show you how the business works, okay? And today's topic is an exciting topic. It's called How to Launch New Planners. Now, why is that exciting? Because for us, it's not just about signing people up, it's about starting people up. So if you're a guest in the room, By the end of today, you're going to be so fired up because you're like, wow, there's a real system here. Because, when you see the product works, you see the business works, the only question you're going to have left is it going to work for me? And that training is going to answer that question for you, okay? So let's talk about it. So when I first saw Riman for the first time, I was very fortunate. I got a chance to meet the owners. And when I went to the backstage, he started sharing me what Riman's already done. And isn't it safe to say that in order to predict the future, you kind of got to see what they're doing in the present? Can we agree? Because a lot of companies, they're going to sell you the vision, the future. But in reality, it's like, what is that future based on? Okay? So when Riman got started, it started in 2018 in South Korea. So what does that mean? We're a Korean skincare company, an authentic Korean skincare company. Because Korean skincare is huge right now, can we agree? But what most people don't understand is that most products that are being sold as Korean skincare products in American stores are not actually made in Korea. Okay, so we have the authenticity, which is huge. Now, in 2018, before they even launched the United States of America and all the other 8 countries, they already did $2.5 billion in revenue. Can we agree that's pretty big? Right? 2.5 billion with a B, right? And not only did they do that, but they became the #1 rated K-beauty brand in all of South Korea. So out of all the brands in South Korea, just to let you know, we are the #1 exported and the #1 sold product to come out of South Korea. Is that pretty huge? Does that mean people are already buying, yes or no? Now let me ask you a question. Where do you think is the most competitive Korean skincare? In Korea or somewhere else in the world? So they accepted it and it became #1. Is it safe to say it's going to be good for around the world, yes or no? Right? Huge, right? So not only that, but just to contextualize what that means. Just our moisturizing cream alone, imagine they sold 40 million bottles of our moisturizing cream out of a country whose population is 55 million. Now, just to give you an idea what that looks like, how many of you have heard of a small state called Indiana? Right? How many states does America have? Okay, I ask because I don't remember. It's been a long time. I'm just kidding, right? So one state in America, 55 million people, that's the size of Korea. And they sold over 40 million bottles of our moisturizing cream. Is that pretty impressive, yes or no? It's huge, right? And so they launched United States and Canada March of 2023. That's when I got involved in October. And I remember when I met them, they said, Julian, this is going to be huge. We're going to open 8 other countries in the next 2 years. And it sounded good, but let me tell you, 2 years later, that's exactly what they did. Okay? They launched Taiwan December that year, Hong Kong. They launched Mexico, Singapore, Malaysia. Fun fact for you, Mexico is the 2nd largest consumer of Korean products. Isn't that crazy? Right? Huge, right? So Latin America is huge. Philippines, they launched in 2025. The United Kingdom, Japan, and this year, Italy, Spain, Ireland, Colombia just opened up, Peru just opened up, Chile, and this is just a small fraction, right? We're opening up Australia by the end of the year, Thailand, Russia, the Czech Republic, a lot of other countries. Now, how many of you like to travel by show of hands? Here's what's exciting. When Yvonne and I first got started in Riman, we didn't know anybody in all these other countries. We got started locally, just sharing the products, talking about the products, using the products, demoing the products. And now we have teams all around the world. And because of Riman, we got to see all those different places, which is pretty cool. So some of you in this room who may not have traveled or traveled recently or to any of these countries, imagine just through building a team of people, somebody knows somebody, and you're going to end up in another country. Isn't that pretty cool? And let me tell you something. Okay? Some of the best goals to have is to experience the food in the original country it came from. Does that make sense? Like, can you imagine having sushi in Japan? It just tastes different. Does that make sense? Right? Imagine having Korean barbecue in Korea. Okay? But in Korea, it's just called barbecue. It's not called Korean barbecue. It's barbecue. Okay? So moving forward, right? So I want to introduce you to our 3 brands. So Riman is our company, but we have 3 products, 3 brands. Okay? ICD, that's our premium skincare line. We have Lab, that's our premium hair care, body care line. And we have our Lighting, which is our nutritional line. Okay? Now, here's what really blew me away when I saw the company. Is that there's a series of events that had to happen for the company to work. You see, Chairman On, the founder, he's not a typical businessman, right? You know, there's 2 people, Chairman On and Mr. Huang. That's like Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, right? The founders of Apple. What do I mean by that? Steve Wozniak, he wasn't a businessman. He just loved computers, loved engineering technology. That's Mr. Chairman On. He's a formulator, and a lot of the top products that come from Korea, he's actually the one that created the formula for it. And so what ended up happening was when he created Riman, the product was so good, he didn't want to sell it to any other brand to have them mark it up and to distribute it to people. Not only that, because our products work so well, he understood in order to separate us from the marketplace, they need to find a way to get people to actually demonstrate the product, so seeing is believing. Can we agree? That's why we love negative, skeptical people. Does that make sense? Because the more negative and skeptical you are, chances are the more wrinkles you have. And by the end of the meeting, you're like, okay, I'm a believer, right? How do you guys ever notice that men and women have wrinkles a little bit differently? You guys notice that? Right? Men get wrinkles like this, women get wrinkles like that. You guys ever notice that? Do you know why that is? Because typically in the household, when the husband comes home, the wife goes, where's the money? The men go, I don't know, right? We all think so, right? So here's what's amazing about our products, okay? We have two major products, the Byungpol and the Jeju Lava Energy Water. Now, that in itself is amazing, and I'll tell you why. So when they were creating the product, he says, I want to create a new formulation. I want to create something that's going to really, really work and preserve the youth that we see in our children, right, his kids. And so at that time, there was a product called Mitocostal, and it was super effective, right? How many of you ever heard of Neosporin? So it was like Korea's form of Neosporin, but it outsold Neosporin and all these other brands. Because what he noticed is that when people use this product, it removed inflammation, right? Burns, cuts, scars would heal incredibly fast. And the reason why is because that plant that was in it was so effective. Now, you know what that plant was? That was the Byungpol, right? Or Centella asiatica. So when he saw that, he says, that's the main ingredient I want in our products. He started doing a lot of research on it. Now, while that was happening, on Jeju Island, which is like the Hawaii of Korea, there's a beautiful volcano. And for over 400,000 years, water gets pulled in, filtered through all the rock, and through that process, it removes any impurities, and it's infused with essential minerals. Now, Jeju Island is protected by UNESCO. They don't allow anybody to just come to the island, set up shop, because they want to protect the environment. So the government issued 10 contracts to 10 trusted companies to be able to research that water and use it. We are the only skincare company that has access to that water. And the only reason why he has access to the water, and the reason why the contract was awarded to him, was because of all the amazing work he's already created with other products. This is that, when I heard that, that's when I got excited, because think about it, if he didn't have success somewhere else, if he didn't create trusted products, if he wasn't trusted by the community, they wouldn't have awarded that to him. And so what ended up happening was, started using the water, and they started growing their own plant on our own smart farm. And something interesting happened. As they grew through our process, that regular Centella asiatica, the size of a quarter, grew to the size of the palm. And with that, the efficacy of the ingredients raised as well. And here's what's amazing. We grew our own plant from a Byungpol to a giant Byungpol, and we have all the patents on the plant, which means nobody else can even grow that plant. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't, because they don't have access to the water. So I'll share with you why that's exciting for me, because in business, the number one thing people are afraid of is competition. Me Too products, right? How many companies out there just copy another product because it's popular? Our ingredients, our healer ingredients, cannot be copied. We have a patent on it. So that gives me the insurance to know that our product is not only good, but it's competitive. Now, what makes our products effective is the technology. Because around that same time, there was a lidocaine cream that was very popular in Korea, who shared me this story. And the reason why that lidocaine cream was so powerful is because it was made a little bit different. It was used through something called a microfluidizer. And what that does is when you run the ingredients through the machine, it's the same technology that pharmaceutical companies use. It breaks down the ingredients 40 times smaller, allowing it to penetrate the deepest layer of your skin. So imagine people that have these pains and aches. I don't know if you ever used like pain relief cream before. It only works on the surface, but you can still feel the gnawing feeling on the bottom. Because of that technology, it was allowed to penetrate to the deepest layer, and it alleviated a lot of pain. So he said, hey, what if we took our ingredients, ran it through the same technology? What would happen? And that's why our products work so well, is because not only do we have quality ingredients, not only do we avoid any harmful chemicals, over 3,000 that are commonly used today in America, right? It's because it absorbs to the deepest layer of your skin. It fixes the root of the problem versus being a Band-Aid that covers the surface like most products. And that's what separates us apart. So imagine, when I heard that story, I was like, how many things had to happen for these things to align? And I'm like weird. I'm kind of like spiritual. I believe in like, fate, destiny, and some stuff like that. And so when I saw that, I was like, there's something special here. And it says a lot about the owner, right? That's opportunity calling. Okay, just kidding. So Riman campus, like I talked about, our smart campus, this is what it looks like, solar power station, right? So as you can tell, we have a commitment to making sure we have a clean footprint on the environment. We're protecting Jeju Island, and everything we do is solid. Why does it keep do that, right? So our Riman Smart Farm Local Lab, it's like y'all not ready, okay? So we're not going to fight it, right? So that's what our Smart Farm looks like. And what's exciting is our Philippines leaders are now in Jeju Island right now, visiting the village, which is super cool. So this is a plant I was telling you about. This is the size of a normal plant, and through our Smart Farm and our water, that's the size it grew to. Pretty impressive. Now the Smart Farm, for the first year, just to share with you, we would share this story and we would share these pictures. But when you go there, you actually see the facility, you actually see the process. It's one of those things you're like, wow, like this is the real deal. This operation is huge. And then people like to pick the plant and eat it too. I think that's kind of weird. I'm not a veggie person, right? So it's kind of like cilantro. So if you like cilantro, that's what it tastes like, okay? I know nobody asked, but that's my autism, right? This is my intrusive thoughts, right? And what's also amazing is on Jeju Island, our company built 9 villas and created something called Riman Village. Because the company was debt-free. And instead of building, buying new cars, jets, and all that stuff for the owners, they built the Riman Village, a place for us to be able to travel to be able to have a place to stay, right? And when you become a director and higher, you get flown out there, you get a whole retreat. And when you're a director and higher, you can actually book that place as well, which is pretty cool. So I don't want to ruin the magic, but there's a whole spa there where the water gets sent into the tub, and it's all Jeju lava water, right? And they give you this whole beaker of Rangpul extract. You pour it in there, you get it soaked in there for 30 minutes. It's amazing. Like, you'll come out like feeling renewed, right? Like, it's pretty cool, okay? Your skin will be so smooth, okay? So let's talk about it, right? So let's fly past this. I want you to get a chance to meet Mr. Tim Herr. So ICD is our premium skincare line, right? All of our products do the same thing: cleanse, hydrate, and protect. That's our core philosophy. Now, the two products have a slightly different delivery system, okay? One is more water-based, and one is more oily-based. Now, when I say oily-based, that has nothing to do with dry skin or oily skin. It's just the texture of it, okay? Now, both products, right, will remove fine lines and wrinkles, color correction, all these different things. But the advanced line is more focused on anti-aging. It's 100% microfluidized. So that's really the difference, right? And the only other difference I would say is if you're a texture person, again, because of my autism, I'm a very texture person. It really depends on your environment, your conditions too, right? If you're in a hotter environment, you might prefer one set. If you're in a colder environment, you might prefer another one, okay? But the products are really great. Let me show you some before and after pictures. Look at this, right? The before and after pictures that we've collected over the last 2 years is really what's helped us build our business. And I want to share with you, if you're here for the first time, when you try our products, make sure you get a before and after picture, because that's my only regret. I don't really have a solid before picture, because when I got started, to be honest, I got started because of the opportunity. I saw the money was there. Because Korean anything is pretty popular now, can we agree? Right? K-pop, K-drama, again, Korean barbecue, I'm hungry. I fasted all day today, so, right? Some bibimbap sound really good right now. But anyways, right? So if you notice the before and after picture, right? You get the glow, the glass skin, right? The lifting, the tightening of the face, right? Can we agree these are all things that people are looking for, yes or no? Yes. Right? It's huge. And let's be honest, there's a lot of great products out there, but people spend money on what they want, not necessarily what they need. Can we agree? And as you get older, are these some of the things that people start becoming conscious of, yes or no? Right? So it's huge, okay? So second, we have our Volta Lab. That's our personal and hair care line. And what's amazing about our products, we can't really say this in America, but in Korea, you're allowed to say that if you're balding and losing hair, it helps your hair grow back. But we're not in Korea, so I'm not allowed to say that, okay? But what happens, our product is vegan, right? And also our product has passed the most strictest regulations and testing in the world, right? It's funny because sometimes people are like, are you FDA approved? I'm like, that vape that you're smoking is not FDA approved. That energy drink is not FDA approved. But German dermatology is one of the strictest regulations in the world, and we have certificates in that, which is great. Now, with our product, it's all clean and gentle. We're often taught you shouldn't wash your hair too often. How many of you guys heard that before? And the reason why is a lot of these products have harmful chemicals in it. It removes the dirt and oil, but it dries out your scalp, right? And again, for me, things have to make sense. Have you ever noticed that when you take a bath and you use like Dove soap, you're in water. Water's supposed to hydrate you, right? But then when you get out, you look at your skin, it's like dried red. Like, make that make sense. But it's because the chemicals is drying it out. Because our products are all clean and gentle, right? Again, doesn't disrupt your hormones. Is that pretty important today? Right? People are now looking, hey, is this going to disrupt my endocrine receptors, right? I just learned how to say that, so pretty proud of myself. Right? So our products work very, very well. It removes the dirt and oil while hydrating your skin. And just to show you, right, these are some before and after pictures of people in their hair. Right? So it's huge. So imagine for everyday people, let's not even talk about building the business, okay, because that's a no-brainer. But when you have a product that's valuable, do you think the business is going to be scalable, yes or no? Mm-hmm. And that's why people are having so many results with our business, is because all they do is use the products. If we teach you, can you use the products? pretty easy, right? How many of you already know how to wash your face? Step 1's already done. You see that? Right? And then step 2 is you just got to talk about the products, right? How many of you can talk to people? Think about this. How many of you recommend things every single day to your family and friends but don't get paid for it? That's all we do. We just demo it and let them decide. Super simple, right? Then we have our nutrition line. This is one of my favorites. This is actually what helped me build my business beginning coming from fitness. This is one of the easiest products for me to get people on. And the Deep Talk is amazing. It's probiotic, prebiotic, digestive enzyme. It comes in these little beads. You swallow it like pills. It expands in your stomach, and it just gets rid of everything. Like everything that's been fermenting in there for the last 10 years. Like, you know, your Christmas dinner from last year is going to come out. Does that make sense? And why that's effective is a lot of people don't realize that the reason why they're so tired all the time is because their body's working so hard to digest all, you know, the processed foods that people are eating. Okay? So when you take this product, it flushes you out. What a lot of people notice is it removes brain fog. They have more energy. We have our beauty collagen shot, which is great too. Top of the line collagen, low molecular collagen peptide. So what does that mean? It is fast absorbing. Right? And we also use top of the line collagen, which is marine collagen, right? Not bovine collagen like a lot of these other companies use. And the best part is it doesn't taste like marine collagen. Right? How many of you you're like, I want to be healthy, and then you try the healthy product, you're like, it tastes too healthy, right? Like, let me downgrade a little bit for taste, right? But what's amazing about this is you don't have to downgrade the taste. The taste is amazing. And also, with our new formula, we have glutathione in it. And glutathione is huge. It's one of the strongest antioxidants in your body that you can take. And something that's huge for a lot of people today, it helps you flush out heavy metals. Heavy metals is something that a lot of people are very concerned about today. Can we agree? Okay, I'm not going to go into detail about why, but heavy metals is there, right? It's in everything. So we flush it out. It's really, really great, okay? So that's pretty much my part. Oh, yeah, and we have makeup. How many of you guys are excited about that? I got excited when makeup came out, right? You're like, Julian, that's weird. You're a guy. Why are you excited about makeup? Well, number one, our makeup is clean and gentle. It has our ingredients in it. It actually repairs your skin while you wear it. Is that pretty cool? That's what I hear. I haven't tried it yet, okay? But that's what I hear. But why am I excited about makeup? Because, ladies, in your purse, how many different lip products do you have right now? And so imagine, that's why I get excited, right? You know, it's because people are already using the product. You don't have to educate people. You're just showing them something better. You're not getting people to spend money on something they're not already buying. You're just getting them to redirect it on something that's actually better, okay? So it's huge. So that's pretty much my part. I got to show you why Riman is helping people put their best face forward. The next gentleman is going to show you how Riman's helping people put their best foot forward. And this gentleman is no stranger to success. I mean, multiple decades of experience. I mean, this gentleman has created so many millionaires in this industry. It is amazing. And this gentleman, I've known him for over half my life, and one of the greatest things that I've got to experience is having him at my wedding. So it was huge. And no one would have convinced me when I met him at 18 he'll be at my wedding, right? And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be able to close my wife to marry me. Does that make sense? So without further ado, help me welcome to the front of the room, top national director, Mr. Timothy Herr.
You got me pumped. Amazing. Some of you guys saw him do a presentation when he first started, and now I'm like, man, this guy knows a lot about what we're doing. So we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to real quickly go over how it is that we make money. I know many of you maybe our first-time guests maybe have saw the presentation or saw about the products. Maybe somebody came over to your house, showed you the products, or maybe you were invited out over to their house, and they just said, hey, you know, I want to talk to you about what it is that, you know, this product and what it's all about. But tonight I'm going to share with you how we make money and how the compensation plan works. And we're going to be talking a little bit about details, and we're going to be going much more over it. We have a training program where we talk about the pay plan. And then tonight, you guys are lucky because we've got a very, very, very special training afterwards. So I'm going to fight through this when we get to the good part, but just kind of sit back and relax, realize you're amongst friends, and really what I'm going to do tonight is give you enough information for you to be able to make an educated decision if Riman can help change you and your family's financial future, okay? You taking up your time, and obviously your buddy that invited you out tonight, they haven't taken up their time. Just when we're all done, just tell them yes or no, right? You know, I'm a big believer of maybe or think about it. It's kind of like just a nice way of saying no, right? Do you guys agree with that? Some of you that are parents, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But my background is real simple. I got very fortunate to meet some really amazing people at a really early on in my life. I was actually in high school at the time, down the street actually at Woodbridge High School, and I wasn't doing very well, right? I was not doing really well at school at all. I was struggling in school. It wasn't a strong place for me to spend time. I mean, I was just going there basically to just to play football. I mean, that was literally what I was doing over at that high school. And I was really worried about my future. Everybody in my family is basically in manual labor, so I figured I'd just be doing construction or masonry work like my family back home, concrete, things like that. And that's kind of the direction I thought I was headed in. I was really nervous about my future. And my brother-in-law called me up, and he said, hey, Tim, I got real lucky. I met some wealthy people. I want to introduce them to you because I think if, they could help us make some serious money. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, hook me up. So on February 15th of 1996, I walked in a room just like this, literally just like this. It was in Irvine, 2801 Main Street. It's no longer an office building, but every time I drive by there, I think about it. Walked into a meeting just like this, a little bit skeptical, a little bit doubtful, a little bit negative, but I was hopeful because I needed something to work in my life. And that night, I met some wealthy people, and they shared with me some interesting information, and I said to myself, man, if these guys are going to help me, why would I not want to, learn how to do this? So got started. I was busy. Have you guys ever met somebody that's busy? Right, most of us know people in Southern California, almost everybody's busy, right? But I was unique because I was busy and broke. Right, that's tough, right? If you have no money and no time, like, what are you doing? And I wasn't doing well in school too, so I was dumb, busy, and broke, right? So I told you that already, right? And obviously, I'm not looking too good, so I was ugly, dumb, busy, and broke. Probably worst, life's worst scenario, right? But I got around these wealthy people, I learned from them, and I was very blessed that first year to make some really substantial income, and it was a blessing for me, getting around business people and learning from them, and this was back 30 years ago. And since then, it's been more than a dream come true, helping other people achieve success and helping other people just make a little bit of part-time extra money. Some people just want to make it, a few $100 a month, some people want to make it a few thousand, and some people want to make substantial income. And I love serving people and helping people and teaching them, what it is that my mentor taught me. So I'm going to go through the information, how our comp plan works. First thing is Julian did an amazing job of outlining the fact that we got some amazing products. Okay, I can always look around the room and tell you who's already a distributor, planner with us, right? This word, because you start, your skin glows, right? It's like that hydration factor. It's too noticeable. And I'll just real quickly kind of share with you guys this. This is my before and after. So you guys can see, like, I went from really ugly to ugly. You guys see? But I was blown away, right? I found out about Riman a little over 2 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago. Actually, I found out about it. That's when I got started 2.5 years ago, but probably a little bit over 3 years ago, a buddy of mine sent me some products. And I'd been in skincare for 17 years. So I've been marketing skincare, was very fortunate, built $1 billion skincare company, started it out of our garage, and we took it around the world. And the main reason why is because this university system tonight that you guys are going to find out about, we implemented a system and it just duplicated and replicated. We taught people how to become successful. And what happened was, I never used skincare in my life. Like, I was one of those guys that basically just took a bar of soap on his head and, I was like a caveman. My wife was like, you're doing skincare? Like, out of all the things into a beauty product 17 years ago, and she was the only employee in that company working out of our garage. We started that company, took it around the world. It was a blessing, and that's when I found out the power of the products. Like, you have a really great product, you can do something great. So Danny knew that I was in skincare, so he sent me some products. I was reluctant, though. I had my own stuff, right? So I'm like, I'm not going to try your stuff. Like, I felt like I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is bad, right? My wife said, go get your, try it. So I tried the product, and the first day I went to football practice. So I walk into my football practice, and my linebackers coach, Coach Rick, he goes, dude, your skin looks good. And I was like, oh, damn, did he just hit on me? Like, I thought it was like, I'm like, dude, no, bro, we're not doing that. And then, I'm happily married, right? If you're into that, that's okay. But I was tripping. No dude had ever, said anything like that to me. And I was like, well, that was weird. And then the next day, my daughter goes, hey, Dad, did you get Botox? I'm like, me? No. Why would I do that? I'm like, this is weird. I told my wife, I said, babe, why are people talking about my skin? She goes, it's got to be that cream stuff. I said, there's no way a product could work that fast. No way. She goes, just call Danny and find out what it is, because it's noticeably different. So I called him, and he shared with me the story that Julian shared you about the tigers in the grass, and the water in the volcano, and the microfluidization. I was like, dang, dude, these guys are serious. And I went out to that first convention they had in Las Vegas when they launched the company. Whole event was in Korean. I walked in the event, the whole event was in Korean, and I'm like, this is not going to work. Like, you're just going to talk to Korean people? Like, what are they doing? So I ended up leaving early, but I'm like, this is silly. And And then I kept meeting with the owners, and I'm like, no, we want to tap into the market, but why would we cater to a market that we don't have, right? If we did the whole of it in English and nobody there speaks English, we would be getting English. So I was like, good point. So we come on board with this company, and we just started sharing it with people. Everybody you know that has skin, would you guys agree with that? Like everybody would agree, nobody would disagree. Skin's something that the majority of people are totally have. And most people want to look better, they don't want to look worse. I've never met anybody who's like, man, if I could just have an acne breakout, I'd be pumped. Or if I could get some, man, I need some more fine lines, right? If I get some more wrinkles, man, I'd be pumped. Like people want to look better. So when you deliver a product to people where they can see a difference, you don't have to sell it because they can see it. You understand what I'm saying? They know that it works. So whenever they know it works, it kind of is the magic. I'll show you also my daughter's before and after. My daughter had kind of like, she kind of had a little bit of an acne problem. So she started using the EX line and the Dermatology EX line and was like blown away with the results. It just really, it's amazing products, and people just love what it does for their skin. And that's what makes this business so simple. But imagine that you knew a couple people that had skin. You probably, if you found a product that could knock maybe 5 years off somebody's face, or could help them get more compliments, would you tell them about it or keep it a secret from them? Kind of tell them about it, right? Like I'm not going to tell, like we'll give you an example. My wife, she's got family members, right? I don't want her family members to look shabby, right? You know what I mean? They're like always talking about how good our skin looks. I'm like, that's a big deal, right? It's like, you know what I mean? My sister's single, right? So, I want to help her out, right? Shots fired at my sister. Oh my God, I like that part. So anyways, you guys all know it works, but everybody knows how traditional companies work, right? They'll supply a product, usually manufactured or supply it, then they'll mark it up, they'll sell it to distributors, distributors will mark it up, sell it to wholesalers, wholesalers mark it up and sell it to retailers, retailers mark it up and sell it to customers. So all those markups, all those markups get passed on to the customer. So the customer pays a higher premium for a product. But our company said, hey, look, what would happen if we gave you an equity ownership position? Okay, an equity ownership position with the company, and we could share the profits with you, and you could build a customer base, and those customers would be tagged to you, and every time they reorder, you get paid a profit on it over and over and over again. So a lot of you, right, have always thought about being an entrepreneur, right? And most people, some of you probably already are. But what stops people the majority of time from opening up their own little business? It's expensive. Would you guys agree? Right? Everybody agree. The Small Business Administration in America tells us the average small business loan is $450,000 plus. We know that that's a fact according to the Small Business Administration. Okay? And we know also from the same numbers that 65% of those businesses fail within the first 5 years. And we also know from the same organization that the average profitability of companies after 5 years that are still in business is 5 to 7%. These are all facts that we all know. So when you look at a business, you have to think to yourself, number one, what are the profits, right? What is the product? And really, is it something that somebody's going to teach me how to do, right? And that's what's magical about what we do, is a training system. And the reason why I always talk about the training system, because if you open up a small business, let's say I opened up a company, my wife makes unbelievable tacos, okay? What was it, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, or the day before? Makes them, my wife, her food is bomb, right? So, but if she opened up a little taco place, making her special birria tacos, I probably said that wrong. I know my Latinos are like, dude, you said that way wrong. But whatever she calls them, and I eat those things, I love them. And we opened up a small business selling those tacos. We couldn't go down the street to our competitor and ask them for, hey, would you do me a favor and share with us what you're doing that's working? So a lot of times, lack of training and support is what stops businesses from succeeding, and also the overhead. Typically, small businesses cost a ton to stay in business. What's magical about ours, I'll show you a way today, whenever you get started, the enrollment fee for this month, I can show you a way how it can even be waived for you. So it'll be interesting, right? So the company supplies the products, they give it, put it in you and I's hands, we can go directly to consumers. So everybody I know that has skin, do you think I talk to them about our products or just let them walk around looking like they do? It would be, if I don't talk to somebody about the products, I can't really sleep at night. You understand what I'm saying? Like my neighbor, I don't like him at all. He's part of the homeowners association. You know how those guys are, they're always giving me problems, okay? He's like, your trash cans didn't get in until 6 o'clock on Sunday, and you gotta have them in, or on Monday, you gotta have them in by 5. I'm like, are we seriously doing this? Right? I'm like, golly. But I still don't want him to look bad. Would you agree with that? Right? It's gonna depreciate the value of my entire all the community, right? It's like, if I get my people looking better, maybe it'll make the housing price go up, right? But, so I talk to everybody about their products. I can't not talk about people. Well, a lot of what I do now is I'll talk to retailers. Typically, it's not people that I introduce personally, but I'll know somebody that knows somebody. I'm not here to, make fun of the men, but most women in the room, they have connections with people, right? My wife does the same lady that does her nails. It's been forever. Like, it's literally been for the same exact lady that does her nails. Same girl does her hair, right? Same person, does her lashes. Same person does everything. Like, it's like everything she does, she goes to the same people. So she's got relationships with them. So when we first got started, we're like, hey, we got to talk to, we got to talk to Jamie. So we got to talk to all these people. So we talked to them all, told them, hey, look, you want to keep her as a customer? We do business with people who do business with us, right? Start promoting these products, right? So I get them in retailers all the time. I like to talk to med spa owners. I love talking to med spa owners because when you talk about Obagi and SkinCeuticals and some of these pharmaceutical grades, they can't compare to what we're doing, mainly with the price being as low as it is. Typically, when we talk to people, I'll show them how they can just sell individual Korean, facials and make a substantial amount of income just by selling facials. But, obviously every business is a little bit different. Some people don't do facials. Some people that do hair are obviously not going to do facials. But obviously our hair care products are amazing. Now, online is another way. In 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a social media training, teaching everybody in the room how to be able to build on social media. I'm going to have the top people in the company that I work with that are the #1 customer getters, the top influencers when it comes to that. They're going to be giving me the training that I'm going to be delivering. So I'm going to go get coaching and training from them and teach you. So don't worry, you look at my following, you're like, you're going to teach us how to do what you just did. I'm not really a social media expert, but I do know how to pay attention and share information, right? So when a customer gets connected with you, here's what is really exciting. When a customer gets connected with you, every time they buy from you, so basically what happens is I have a URL, right? Mine's called Korean Cosmetics, right? Which is like Riman.com, of course. And I send that URL to somebody. They become don't go to my URL. Go to the URL the person invited you. Don't go to my URL, okay? But you go to a URL, you go to their URL, and that's how you can buy the products. So when you connect with your friend, guess what happens? You're going to get a 5%, basically what we call reward points. You see how smart that is? So 30 days later, when you make a purchase, you can use that discount to be able to buy more, right? Then you could also hit a threshold where you become a VIP customer or even a VVIP customer where you get anywhere between 5 to 10% off of every order that you make. So it's kind of an incentive program when people to reorder from you. And they're tagging you, so every time, so if I talk to Tara about the products one time, she keeps reordering, guess what's happening? Every time she reorders, I'm making what? Money, but I talked to her one time. Do you guys everybody see what's going on? That's what's so amazing about it, right? It's creating a residual income, okay? So that's how the customer program works, and I can get into more details on it, but what I want to share with you today is you're going to get paid, right, on a sliding scale between basically 10% to 50% profits on the customers that you acquire. So just think about starting a little part-time business with us. We'll show you how to do it, and imagine what could happen, right? Now, we're talking about substantial profits here. 5 to 10% is a lot. 10% is over the top. A traditional business, if they are profitable, is not profiting 10%. They're profiting 5 to 7%. But I can show somebody how, today I've actually got a training on how to do that, how to be, in 7 days, how to get up to 30% profits. 30% profits is out of this world. Can you imagine 30%? There's businesses don't profit 30%. That's over the top. Like, what? Right? We'll teach you how to do that. But I'm going to give you an example. This is a hypothetical example. It's going to be basically dependent on your work ethic. You understand what I mean? These products are amazing, but they're not going to sprout arms and legs and walk over and talk to people. Do you see that? Like, you've actually got to communicate with people or find a way to get them to attract customers, which we'll teach you, okay? So let me show you how it works. If you got 10 new customers a month over a 12-month period, I think most of us are pretty good enough at math to realize that'd be about 120 customers, okay? Now, the average customer is spending 200 BP. I'm just putting a number out there. What BP is basically is universal income. Basically like a universal pay system, meaning what? In America, we use dollars. In UK, they use pounds. In Mexico, Philippines, they use pesos, right? Everybody knows that. So basically, every country, instead of having all those different types of currencies, there's like a Riman currency called bonus points. Do you see that? So in America, that's probably around $275, $300 dollars, right? So you could use any numbers that you want. If you wanted to lower that amount and get less on customers, just up the amount of people you talk to, whatever. I'm just giving you guys an example. And you would be at 50% on that, so you'd be making roughly about $12,000 a month. $12,000 a month is not going to make you wealthy or financially independent. Would you agree? But would it be worth learning how to get customers if you could make a little bit of extra residual income? Of course, right? Now, let's say that you just said, hey, I don't want to work that much, talk to 10 people a month. That's like, what? That's like, more, like 3 people a week almost, right? Woo! Let's just do a little bit less, right? Let's talk to about 1.2 people a week, right? Talk to get 5 new customers a month. For 12 months, same exact example, you'd get about, what, 6,000 a month. Now, if you've got 0 customers, this is important to understand. If you got 0 customers a month, and you did that consistently for a 12-month period, okay, you'd be making about $0. You guys get that? So, somebody goes, what's the catch? It takes work. Like, we actually have to work, and we have to actually learn how to do it. You guys see that? You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm the type of person, I have a desire to learn how to do something if there's a lot of money involved. Like, give you an example. Julian kind of talked about how a guy in the beauty industry is kind of silly, right? Now, I'm right-handed, I'm not left-handed. You guys understand? But if you pay me $100,000 a week to write with my left hand, I would learn. I would actually shake my shoe off, and write with my feet. You see that? Like, like I'll learn about something, right? If the money's right, you know, the stakes are right, we'll learn how to do it. So let me show you how you can go from 10 to 50%. How does that work, okay? So basically when you get started, there's a position called planner, right? Planner is kind of like the entry position when you're really learning stuff. Once you become a planner, we'll show you how to become a manager, okay? Once you learn how to use your links and learn how everything works, then you become a manager, okay? And basically it's about 3,000 in total sales points over a 3-month period, okay? Between anything that you do, and if you want to allow people to participate with you, you can allow people to do what you're doing, and you can count their volume as well, right? We'll teach you exactly how that all works. Now you're going to get 20 to 30%, okay? What's the extra percentage? How do you go from 20 to 30? There you have a bonus called the retail bonus. So we have an orientation training, we can show you that, okay? Now senior manager, once you get to 6,000 in sales points, right, over a 3-month period, you can do it as fast as you want. Tonight I'll teach you how to do it quick. You can become a senior manager. Now you're at what? 30 to 40%. Okay? So you got to ask yourself, 30 to 40%. Like I've got people that have done it in a week, in a day, in a few days. Like it's something that you can do. Okay? Now some people might be fast, some people might be slow, but as long as you keep working and talking to people, guess what's going to happen? Somebody's going to say, sure, I want to get some of that stuff. Right? Okay? So basically, and then once you become a team leader, now you're at 40 to 50%. We're not going to get too much into the details, but you also get something called overrides. So we have 2 compensations here, a differential compensation plan and a unilevel. What does that mean to you? Basically what that means to you is if you allow other people to participate, you can get an override on their performance. So imagine you had a team of, let's say, 100 people, and they were all working 10 hours a week. That'd be 1,000 hours of effort you're getting paid on. Even if you worked overtime at a job, it's hard to put in 1,000 hours a week, would you? Right? Okay, so that's why I like the business so much, is because I like to leverage my time. I like to find a way to be able to multiply my efforts, and I do that by duplicating and teaching other people what my mentor taught me, right? So let me show you an example of how it works. I'm just going to talk about unilevel today, but before I do, I want to talk about this Fast Start bonus. This Fast Start bonus has got everybody so excited right now, okay? So basically, you guys all got a handout. If you did get a handout, we'll have them, we'll pass around to you. But in the month of May, if you get started, okay, and within 7 days or 30 days, you become a manager, a senior manager, you get an extra bonus. Just an extra reward to say, hey, keep up the great work. Right? Sometimes money's motivating, right? Would you agree with that? Sure, right? So you can get any, like as a manager, you can get $250 extra dollars if you become a manager within 7 days or less, and a $100 extra bonus if you become a manager within, what, 30 days or less. Now, senior manager, same thing, you get a $5,000 cash bonus if you do it in 7 days or less, and guess what? $250 if you do it in 30 days or less. So really simple, right? We have an extra Fast Start bonus, okay? So when you get started, obviously, the most important thing to do is what? Get products, right? So let me just real quickly show you how this works. We also have this promotion. It looks to me like my wife is into these Trader Joe bags. You guys ever seen these things? I'm like, okay, we got our deal. I'm gonna have to, like, basically, I'm gonna have to tell my son to sign up. My 19-year-old is gonna get signed up and become a manager just because I gotta get this bag for my wife. She'll get me if I don't get this right. I'll be in big trouble. But anybody, no matter when your enrollment date is. So if you got started, let's say you got started 5 years ago, which is, if you know, and now you're like, let's get started again and let's start working at you at manager, you get that extra tote bag. So we like to do exclusive items like that, or we'll do exclusive things that are available to help people, obviously, you know, just basically recognize if we're doing an amazing job. So that's available for brand new people, and it's also available for people that have been around for a while. So if you hit manager, or you have somebody you teach how to become a senior manager or manager this month, you get that tote bag, which is going to be an exclusive item. in Mexico and in North America, both are going on, okay? So let's get into this, okay? This month is something special we have. Whenever people get started, everybody wants to get some products. Like if you own a gas station, what's the smartest thing to get? Gas, right? If you own a liquor store, what do you want to have? Liquor, right? Would you agree with that? Right? If you own a tire, if you own a tire company, would it be a smart move to get some tires? What about if you own a skincare company? Would it be probably a pretty good idea to get some products? Yeah. So we have starter sets that people get whenever they get started, right? Because most people want to, number one, try the products so they can what? Change their face, show people before and afters, and get customers, and share with people how excited and enthusiastic they are about the products. So anybody this month that gets started, it's free enrollment, right? They're going to waive the $20 enrollment fee for anybody that, guess what? Gets a package. Okay, so everybody when they get started, they want to get a product package because they come with free products in them. So just so you're aware, I can't get a starter set. They're only available to people within their first 30 days of getting started. Okay, so let me show you this. These are some of the different starter sets that we have. There's a signature line, which is basically just a little bit of the X-line products. That's usually for somebody who just wants to be a customer. But you're basically going to get $273 of the products for $334. So you're going to get a free 2-phase oil mist, right? Now the next product package up is more popular than the signature line. Is called the Starter Kit Plus. You're going to get $1,324 worth of product for, guess what? $1,146, okay? And that's going to come with a lot of products, okay? But obviously the biggest and best package is going to come with multiples of a lot of things. We'll show you how to sell these products, obviously. But you're going to get $2,004 worth of products for $68.88. So you're going to get $317 worth of free product. Right? So most people, they want to get that package because it economically makes sense. But you're also, guess what? You're going to get a rebate on it. So you're going to get a rebate whenever you get started. For me, I was like, I need products. Like, I know how to build a business like this, and it's, guess what? Find people's skin, get the products on them. Right? So I ended up getting like 4 of the starter kit premiums, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I went through everything so fast. Like within the first weekend of getting started, just bringing people over to my house, being like, I'm so fired up, you got to see what I'm doing. I'm about to blow this thing up, you got to see it. And everybody's coming to my house, and they're just like buying products for me like left and right. But it's really up to you where you want to get started. Obviously, I encourage people to get started at the Starter Kit Plus or Premium because if you want a lot more income there, and I'll talk more about that in the training later tonight. But let's get into this, okay? This is the overrides that we earn. So basically what happens, if you're a planner, you can get paid 10% on the level 1 people that you introduce. So let's say that you called me up there and you said, hey, Tim, found something I know you're going to love. When can we get together so I can give you 100% information to see if it's something you want to take advantage of? I'm like, let's go. So say she brings me out to an event just like this on Thursday night, because we're going to be doing the same thing next Thursday, different training, but same type of thing. I come out with Tara. I sit next to her. I go, this is awesome. Right, I want to do this. And I get started. Whatever I sell or buy, Tara's going to get paid up to 10% of whatever I sell or buy. Do you guys see how smart that is? And then whenever I introduce somebody, everybody that I introduce to the Riman, right, Tara's going to earn 5%. So that's called an override. Overrides are amazing, okay? Now, same thing at manager. Once Tara becomes a senior manager, she's going to get paid now up to 25% whenever she introduces somebody to the business. So she brings me out. I say, man, I want to do this. I go out and start promoting the products. Everything that I buy or sell, she can get paid up to 25% on. Do you see how smart that is? That's why people want to be a senior manager so bad. And then if I introduce somebody to the opportunity, right, she can get paid 10% there. They introduce somebody that be her level 3. So you can build a team of people, and you can get paid overrides, right? Very exciting. And as a team leader, the numbers get over the top. You're talking 35% when she becomes a team leader and brings me in, and I start promoting the products, guess what happens? 35% of whatever I promote. That's a pretty substantial income. And then I introduce my friend Marie over here, guess what? She can get paid up to 30% of what Marie does. So there's a lot of money on the table for people that are willing to do the work, okay? Obviously. Now, director, senior director, national director, those are like the top spots in the program. We have something called infinity bonuses where you can get paid the leadership override 2%, 3%, 4% past 6 levels. So there's an enormous amount of income that's available for people that are willing to do the work, okay, that are willing to learn how to do this, okay? But it's exciting, right? There's a lot of exciting things that are happening, but don't think so much about big money. Just think about making a few $100 a month or a few thousand a month. And then once you do that, guess what you're going to say to yourself? Well, I could probably talk to more people and make more money, right? And that's kind of how it works, you know. You just start making it happen. It's just fun. That's the thing I love the most about it. We have so much fun, build great relationships, okay? But I'm going to give you an example, a hypothetical example of just what we call our unilevel compensation plan. Okay, unilevel compensation plan. So let's say that you introduce 3 people. Okay, probably to find 3 good ones, you might need to introduce 10 people. Say it took you a year to find 3 serious people. Is that fair? We're not talking about tomorrow. We're not talking about overnight. We're talking about, say it took a year to find 3 serious people. And then it took them a year to duplicate that. Now you have 9 people on that second level. You guys see that? If it took another year for that to duplicate, now you got 27. And within a 6-year period, your team would be, basically over 1,092 people. Not overnight, not get rich quick, nothing like that. It's learning the business, teaching people how to do it, building it on a solid foundation where customers are the most important thing. Now, every customer, every planner averages about 1,000 in bonus points per planner. Your income in this example would be about $33,000 a month. Once again, we're not talking about millions, but I'm pretty confident the majority of you would agree in the last 6 years you've probably done something anyways. You guys see that? For me, I was like, yeah, I bet a student. Right? Because I was only, I was 17 years old when I looked at this, right? Not this company, but this profession, okay? Obviously. So now I'm going to give you, that's if you, let's say you fail 90% of that example, okay? You're looking at what? $3,300 a month. You see, so what's important is not 33,000, 3,300, or if you doubled it, you're talking 66,000. What's important is what percentage of that number would you like to make? Would it be worth taking time to learn how to do this business if that was the rewards? See, we have a university program that will teach you step by step how to make this thing happen. Okay, so for the last 30 years, I've been going to seminars, reading books, and having amazing mentors. People that have taught me everything that I know about this business. So the university system is basically 30 years of learning in a 12-week system. Okay, now if you don't get it after 12 weeks, don't worry, right? You can, it's something that we always do. Okay, it's a system that is perpetual, right? So some people will go through once, get their, the Riman University bachelor's degree, right? Get your Riman University master's degree if you do it twice. Get your doctorate degree if you do it 3 times. You do it 4 times, you better get up here and start doing it. Give me a break. Give me some time off. It's your turn, Marie. But we'll show you how to make it happen. We'll teach you how this business works, and we'll help you become a success if you're willing to put in the time. Now, this is something that's really interesting. We do vacations. So we do these trips, okay, these vacations, and this one right here that we're doing this year is Bahamas. Super fun, right? I've already got a lot of people that have already qualified for it, right? I haven't even qualified yet for it, right? I was looking at my team page, and I'm like, I saw like 6 people this week qualify. I'm like, I better get to work. These ladies are out producing me. And I'm like, man, I'm big. Okay. But we're going to be going to the Bahamas. And people in Europe are going to be going to Monte Carlo. People, guess what, in Asia are going to be going to Thailand, Phuket. So we do these fun vacations. We're about to leave for one at the beginning of June. For last year, we did to Costa Rica. So we do these fun things. Everybody gets together and has fun, and you qualify for it. We'll teach you how to do that, okay? Also, for the directors and above, we're going to Dubai. So that's going to be a long flight. So if you're not into flying, guess what? We got to get some courage. We're going to be going to Dubai. That's going to be interesting, right? So that's fun. So we do these retreats that people just love. It's fun to get around the people that are making it happen, kind of learn, and everybody kind of shares secrets of what they're doing, right? So basically, this is something I just like to point out. I'm not going to get into how this works, but this is called Leadership Match. And basically what this is, when you get started, you're going to have a lot of support. A lot of support. And the reason being is because people get compensated or rewarded to teach you how to become a leader. Okay? So let's say Tara gets started tonight, and she's not a team leader. I don't get any matching bonus on her. You understand that? But if I can help her get to team leader, now I can get paid some type of a match on how she becomes. So it incentivizes you to help people hit that team leader mark. Okay? So tonight, obviously we have this fall convention. This is going to be in Vegas. Everybody's excited about this. We do these conventions a couple times a year. This is like where you get so much information, but it's really the heart that you feel. When you get around the CEO of the company and the founder of the company, and you get around the top people of the company, guess what? You really get to feel the energy in the heart and find out that you're in the right place. That's why I love these conventions. They're also, obviously, it's hard to not have fun in Vegas. Right? So we're gonna, but everything we learn in Vegas, we got to talk to people about it. So whatever happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. We take it around the world, okay? So that's something that's fun. You'll hear a lot about that. But tonight, we're talking about something called launching planners. Okay, this is module 10. So basically, what the university program is we teach these, basically these 12 modules, okay, on why Riman, how to maximize the compensation plan, how to master pop-ups, team building products. But tonight's launching planners, and this is something that is such an important thing that you want to learn how to do. Because number one, if you're brand new, you want to learn how to launch your business yourself, right? But if you're a leader, guess what you want to learn? How to launch people. Okay, you want to learn how to launch people.